Welcome to Spooky Spirts Saturdays. I'm your host, Kelly, and won't you join me as we give classic horror a cocktail twist? Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. As the title of this video, as well as the intro have alluded to, we will be creating a craft cocktail inspired by Universal's classic horror monsters. This is a series that I will be doing through the month of October, so be sure to subscribe to see more videos just like this one. For the purposes of today's video, we're going to be looking at 1931's Frankenstein, directed by James Whale and starring Boris Karloff as the monster, as well as Colin Clive as Henry Frankenstein, Mae Clark, and Dwight Frye, who himself is a known figure to the Universal classic horror lovers out there because he played Renfield and Bela Lugosi's Dracula, as well as an uncredited reporter in The Invisible Man, which I was watching the other day and I was like, I know him. I don't think that we necessarily need to rehash the plot of Frankenstein. I am sure so many of you out there are either familiar with the Mary Shelley novel, which I remember reading in college, though I can't remember a whole lot about it at this moment, or you've seen the Boris Karloff film.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Or any of the many spin-offs that took place right on the immediate success of Frankenstein, or something in the many years since that has been directly or somewhat indirectly inspired by the original Frankenstein. Something that comes to mind is Frankenweenie. Cute film, if you haven't seen it. Very much, obviously, inspired by Frankenstein. In the 1930s, Universal Studios had lost about $2.2 million in revenue, and upon the release of Dracula, within 48 hours, that film brought in $700,000, and much like today, all of the studio heads got together and said, how can we replicate the success? And that is what led to them buying up other properties that they can then create horror films from, Frankenstein being one of those. That brings us to the cocktail that we're making. So we're gonna be creating our own sort of Frankenstein because we're gonna be taking some aspects of a margarita and some aspects of a mojito, a little minimal aspect of that, and putting the two together and creating our very own Frankenstein. And I have to say the drink is gonna be spicy because Frankenstein was a little bit spicy. He was misunderstood, he meant well, but he could get spicy. So we're gonna be using habanero tequila. If spice is not your thing, you're gonna wanna just use a regular tequila. But I think that there is a good amount of freshness in this drink because we're going to be muddling some cucumbers and some mint, and we're adding more spice because Frankenstein was spicy. And green, so hence all of this green on this plate. So we're gonna muddle a few cucumbers. We're gonna also muddle about 3 wheels of jalapenos and about 6 mint leaves. All right, once you have done that, you're gonna take your tequila, whether that is spicy habanero tequila. This is by Conteo. I've had this one before and I really enjoyed it. There's also a jalapeno one if you want something spicy, but a little bit of a step down from this one. Or again, just go with a regular tequila if you want to keep all of the spice out. I forgot that there is one other spicy ingredient. There's the habanero tequila, there's the muddled jalapenos, and then there's the Entre Reyes chili poblano liqueur. So this is gonna add even more spice. So this is for you spicy cocktail lovers out there. If you don't like spicy, you may need to sit this one out because you can do some other substitutions, but then you are kind of just making your own drink at that point. So we're gonna add a ½ ounce of the Entre Reyes. We did already muddle cucumber, but I'm gonna add some additional cucumber juice. So that's what I have here. This has not been filtered, so I'm gonna do that so that it's not all weird and lumpy. This is then a ½ ounce of additional cucumber juice. And we're almost there. The next thing that we need is 3/4 ounces of lime juice. One of my favorite parts about cocktail making is picking out which glass I'm going to use. At this point, I have far too many between vintage glassware, modern glassware. It's actually a little bit of a problem because when I go to make a cocktail, I become overwhelmed by my options. And then I usually just end up using the same glass I always do. But tell me that this is not the perfect glass for Frankenstein. It reminds me of the bolts in his neck. I think it's perfect for this. And then put some crushed black salt on it to mimic his hair, of course. Okay, there we have it. We need to put some ice into this, stir it around with a spoon, and then pour it into our glass. This is very optional, but I'm gonna add some of this green glitter because I feel like it just adds a little extra festiveness to your Halloween cocktails. In line with things that are optional, the drink does already have a green tint. However, if you are looking to make it even a little bit more green to sort of really get into that Frankenstein mood, what you can do is add a little bit of food coloring, just a drop, a tiny little drop would be more than enough. One of my other favorite parts about cocktails is, oh my gosh, they keep falling. These are so top heavy. These are skeleton skull cocktail picks, but they always flop over everywhere. And as I was saying, one of my favorite parts about cocktails is the garnish. Okay, and then we just put it, and there you have it. Our cocktail inspired by the 1931 film Frankenstein. I think that we now give it a taste. I know it is going to be spicy. It is spicy, but I think that that mint is still coming through and it still has a refreshing quality for me. I think because of all the cucumber juice that is also into it. Make it for your parties, make it for yourself. If you don't like spice, don't make it probably. If you can handle a little level of spice, I think you should give it a shot. If spice doesn't affect you at all, you'll probably drink this and say I was wrong and that it wasn't spicy at all. But whatever you do, I hope that you enjoy. Stay tuned. There are at least 3 more episodes coming for the month of October. And until next time, I am wishing you a super swell day. And because it's October, a happy Halloween. Horror month. Classic horror. I don't know. Oh. Whew.